friends from Cultura Peso. I'm talking to Tom. Man, Tom is a huge friend of mine. He's the frontman of No Trigger Band, a huge punk rock band from Boston, Massachusetts. All right.
Huge.
And
Huge.
exactly, man. In my opinion, it's huge, man. We'll talk a little bit about the last album, Doctor album. Tom, like I told you before, my name is Fabiano. I'm a journalist for a Brazilian website, Cultura em Peso, or Have Culture, something like that. And first question is about the Doctor album. I would like to know a little bit how was the process behind the composition of the songs of this album, the recording of this album. If you can talk a little bit to us about the lyric subject.
So Doctor album, our latest album, was it was basically a crazy circumstance that let us have a ton of time to record and write this thing because of the pandemic. We had a few songs, before the pandemic was here, like 2019 into 2020. We had a few songs we were going to record that summer, see what happened. But then all of a sudden, pandemic hit, and we had all the time in the world because I knew it was going to be a year or two before anything was settled, and it was longer. So we just kept writing and writing and writing. It was like we had all this free time. I really, really dug into like trying to make the songs as like good as they could be, lyrically and all the rest, because we just had the time. And I could go back and refinish it or whatever. So it was amazing opportunity, and we really took it. I think we created something like singular. Like that record is not like any other record that exists because
Yeah, exactly.
it just had so much time. And in the middle of it, Fabiano, me and my family moved to Switzerland for 3 months in the pandemic because my wife is from Switzerland. So I had like 3 months of listening to like the mixes, listening to where we were at, and then I went back home and fixed the things that I didn't
All
like.
right, man.
It was amazing
Different.
amount of like artistic creativity, freedom, and that's what happened. And to add to that, what the real key to Dr. Album is I took a ton of I microdosed acid LSD for most of the entire writing and recording process. So it was like, my brain was like, blah, 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 blah. I got all these ideas, and that's why it's like there's like a lot of cartoon stuff happening on that record. It's like bam, bam, bam. It's like there's no place that's like empty, right? It's like there's something filled in every little spot. And, honestly, the reaction to the record has been insane because some of the old fans are like, what the fuck is this? But most people are like, oh my God, I needed this record to come out. And that's what I think I wanted to write, is like a 90s, that sort of record that had a lot of time put into it. I wanted No Triggers, like art mantelpiece, to say that, hey, Canyoneer was cool back in the day, but here's what we can still do if we put our mind to it. And that's what Dr. Album is.
All right, man. Like we were talking before this interview, the Doctor album is a great album as well, man. Congratulations. All right, but Kinyoneer, man, is such amazing, great melodic hardcore album ever, man. That I already listened to. Like I told you before, I love to listen this Kinyoneer album every single time, man. It was the first No Trigger album that I listened to, and man, I love this one. But the other stuff is so good as well. Congratulations. Nutrix is a great band. Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about the music videos. I think it was Brainwashed, No Tattoos, and It's Lord and Ain't Fantasy. I think it was 4 music videos that came from Doctor album. I love Errol, the Brainwashed, the subject behind this video clip, this music video, and it was amazing, man. Can you say a little bit to us the process of this recording of these videos?
Well, so Anti-Fantasy and No Tattoos you know, we were in the video, and those are really fun to make. We haven't made a video where we're in them in a bit. But the Brainwashed and the Acid Lord, we had them animated, and by this guy in England who's fucking awesome. So we were like, yes, like make it as, you know, trippy and, you know, psychedelic as possible. But Brainwashed is all about like how when we're growing up, we're told all these things, and then it's like, oh, that's not actually fucking true, you know?
Yeah, no,
And
man.
so it's like, whoa, and then your brain, you know, so that was kind of, you know, it lent itself to being like a nice animated thing. Plus, we didn't have to act or anything. So,
I know,
so
man. I learned, yeah,
that's what we did with those videos, you know.
yes, I learned a lot watching Bray Washington and listening to this song, you know, because it is some kind of criticism against the alienation, this kind of things, you know, and it happens in the whole world, unfortunately, you know, and the
Exactly.
religions and the corruption and the bad education, and we used to learn a lot of bad things, bullshit things when we were younger, you know, and it was necessary. This music, man. Congratulations, and it's fun as well, man. The cover art of the Doctor album, man. You know, and I would like to know a little bit the story behind that cover art. You
The
know,
cover art,
exactly.
the cover art, that's a picture of the cover of Doctor Album is a picture I took. That picture,
Yes,
I took it of Brad, my cousin, who's also the bassist of No
yes, I
Trigger,
know.
back in 2003 on our first US tour ever. And that was in Texas, in Austin. And I took it. And the reason I picked that to be is because his expression, I'm looking at it on the wall. I got it on my wall
All
right there.
right, man.
I'm looking at it. But his expression is just like, and it totally sums up like our whole fucking mentality. Like we don't give a fuck. You know, like it's literally everything. And I was like, that's it. Toby from Red Scare was like, oh, that's the cover art, huh? I was like, yes. Fuck you.
All right, man. It was so fun, man. I love this cover art.
Thanks.
And it's some the next question is something that I always wanted to know, man. It's a huge question from a huge fan, you know, like
All
me.
right.
Actually, I know I have some. I know a little bit some influence that no trigger have, you know, that trigger has actually. But I'd like to know a little more about the influence that you have and you put in your songs, you know, only not on punk rock, you know, but if you have some influence in different kind of music, you know, or if you want to say to us some bands that you love to get some
Yeah.
influence.
I mean, I'm a guy, I don't listen to a lot of punk anymore. I
Yeah,
used to only listen to punk. Something about punk over the last like 10, let's call it 10 years. I'm kind of like, where the fuck are all the punk bands? Like, no one's really punk doing like they're like trying to just stay relevant. You know, the bands in the 90s who got big, I'm like, fuck all. I don't, you know, I like the small punk bands who are like, you know, like doing the real thing versus like just trying to remain relevant. So I don't listen to too much punk. I do listen to it, obviously, but what I do listen to is a lot of I listen to a lot of like alternative country music. I listen to a lot of Grateful Dead, a lot. I listen to a lot of jazz. I listen to a lot of music that kind of gets my brain going just the way punk used to. Like I've searched for that like thing that kind of, you know, and I'm a fan of pop music. I don't know, like I'll listen to Taylor Swift. It's very good, you know, like the songs are very good. So like wherever the songs are good, I'll go to. But what makes a song good? I don't know. It just, you know how you just know where it's like true or not, you know, you're like fuck all them, I like this. That's what it is. So jam bands, you know, my favorite concert I saw this year was the Grateful Dead. I flew out to see them. It was their last show, last tour. So that's kind of where I'm at these days. Is like I listen to everything, and punk is up there, but it's not my main. And I have two kids now, two little girls, 2 and 3. So
Yes,
we
man.
listen to a lot of Disney. It's like
Like every
listen to a lot of Frozen soundtrack, Fabiano, you know?
yeah, man, like every kid, man.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my influences for Dr. Album came from everywhere. You know, like there's some songs that are very acoustic driven, like almost 90s style, like Smashing Pumpkins style. And that's what I just loved then. I'm 41, so the 90s, I was right in the zone to kind of take all of it and be like, I love it, you know. I'm not too young, not too old. I don't know. So that's where I'm at as far as like my influences go.
All right, man. How is going the correct scene, the correct Boston punk rock scene, you know? And only not in Boston, but in the whole Massachusetts. For example, I love to listen to Massachusetts punk rock scene for a long time, and I know a lot of great bands. For example, like In Green and Dropkick Murphs, have heard, and
I've heard.
Bane,
Yeah, yeah.
even Ahem Scream. And Ahem Scream is one of my favorite bands ever. And I would like to know how's going the current punk rock scene in your downtown, man.
Well, Bane is from Worcester, where we're from right now, and so
Yeah.
is 4 Year Strong. And so 4 Year Strong, Alan from 4 Year Strong was who we Dr. Album with. So
Mhm.
and yesterday, guess who I was with recording another song? Trevor from Wilhelm Scream. Yesterday, me and Brad went down to New Bedford yesterday to finish this song for a compilation we're on. So Trevor's still going. You know, Bane. I don't know if they're still out there, but Massachusetts is kind of a nice little spot. You know, we have the Murphys, we have all that stuff. We have Aerosmith. What else
Yeah.
we got? But we have Stained.
Yeah.
Ooh, I saw Stained play to 30 people once in like '98 and in Worcester. I don't know if you know Stained, but they're a huge like butt rock band.
I
You
know,
got
man.
I don't know. The scene's what it is. I'm a new father, so I don't get to a ton of shows too often anymore. But when I do it, I think it's still pretty solid.
All right, man. New responsibilities,
It's
to make
tricky.
a family, man. I hope to do it in the future, man. It's a great dream that I have as well, is to make
Yeah,
a friend, and I understand the responsibility behind it.
it's
And
different. It's way
yeah,
different.
exactly.
Having two little kids, like little 2 and 3.
Yeah.
It's
But
tricky.
I bet this is a huge experience, you are learning a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Man, look, what about the Brazil? Do you know something in my country, man? Some bands, there are a lot of huge, great bands here as well. Do you know something about us?
Well, when we played Brazil with the band Mute in 2018, and I met the dudes from 69 Enfermos. You know that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
know.
we played a bunch of shows with those guys. I'm trying to think of another. Hey, no, they're from Colombia. Never mind. Never mind. Who's another bigger Brazil band that's not coming to me right now?
Man, look, there are Dead Fish and Nitro
Oh yeah,
Minds, Status of Fire, and let me remember. Garage Fuzz is some melodic
Garage
hard.
Fuzz.
Garage Fuzz, exactly.
Damn,
It's a
I've
classic
heard
band,
that.
And man, Brazil, we have these bands, Bullet Bane is another one, and the correct band that is happening right now that is destroying everything is a band called Pansy. I don't know if you know this band.
Pansy?
Pansy, exactly.
Pansy.
Exactly, man.
Cool. I'll have to check them out. That's a cool name.
Yeah, man. It's when every single time that I used to listen to this one, man, I remember a lot the older
Writing it down.
Extreme. Exactly, I do it, and I think that you love these
Pansy from
bands,
Brazil.
you know. Exactly, man. But I'd like to talk a little bit, man. Actually, this is the last question. I'm sorry. Is about the tours, man. If you already have some tours to do around the maybe only not in the United States, but in Europe, maybe, or maybe to come to Brazil to back to Brazil someday.
I would love to come to Brazil again. I think we would just need to be asked again. I don't think No Trigger could like headline Brazil in any sort of like financially responsible way. But if a band brought us, we're like, No Trigger is the world's best support band. So we're very fun. But as far as like current tours, we just played our last show of like the cycle of Dr. Album. So we're kind of in this spot where like, well, what do we do? We had a tour or two, you know, there's a couple things being thought about in United States right now for 2024, but nothing's confirmed. We're taking it easy. We're thinking about maybe writing more music as opposed to like playing, because playing is like very exhausting. It's not like it was when we were 23 or 33, you know, 41 with, you know, we have a lot of shit. So we're kind of balancing that. But No Trigger famously is the vacation core band. So we'll go, there's no rules to how we do it. So if we get a good opportunity, we'll fucking come in. We'll fucking come in. We'll fucking come. You know what I mean?
All right, man.
Be there, yeah. But we as of right now, we're kind of free and clear of any live shows to see how we want to take it.
Man, I hope that some Brazilian concert production, watch this interview and try to to get No Trigger to Brazil again, man. I would love it at all.
We would go. We would go.
Man.
We had a great time. I loved it. We played Curitiba. We played what was that other one?
São Paulo.
Porto Alegre.
Porto Alegre.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
we flew into Porto Alegre at like midnight, and we drove, and it was like we're in like a video game. It was like, where are we right now? It was so crazy. But then the next morning, it was like, all the people are out, and it was fucking awesome, man. I loved Brazil. I loved all of South America when we went, but Brazil was fucking awesome.
Thanks a lot, man. We love No Trigger as well, man. I can say it for sure. And all right, do you have something to say to the Brazilian fans? The interview is over. Do you have some message to leave to us?
I mean, go jam Dr. Album if you haven't listened to it yet. We put a lot of time and energy into it. It's unlike any record you'll probably hear. You know, it's a trip. But other than that, everyone let's hope for no world war. And that things turn around in 2024. Hopefully we all don't die soon.
All right, man, and thanks a lot. It was a pleasure for me, man, to talk to you.
Man.
All right.
This is great.
I hope we will talk more in the future. All right.
We will. Thanks, Fabiano. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man.